When you're looking at a piece of equipment that promises to replace a whole rack of machines, the first feeling is usually a mix of excitement and doubt. I get it. Spending a few $100s on a home gym that you'll only use a few times a week can feel risky, especially if you've never tried a multistation before. That's why I'm going to walk through exactly what the SunHome Multifunction home gym system brings to the table, where it shines, where it falls short, and who should actually consider pulling the trigger. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the basics without diving straight into a spec sheet. This is a compact, all-in-one station that tries to cover everything from bench presses to leg presses, lat pulls, and even a Smith machine-style bar path. The idea is to give you a full-body workout without needing a separate squat rack, cable tower, and leg press machine. For many people, especially those with limited space or a tighter budget, that promise alone can be compelling. But the real question is whether the design actually lets you perform those movements comfortably day after day. First off, the setup. Unboxing the SunHome system takes about an hour if you have a couple of friends to help. The parts are clearly labeled and the manual, while not glossy, walks you through the assembly step by step. The biggest hurdle is getting the weight stack into place. At 138 pounds it's heavy enough to need a little muscle, but not so heavy that it feels like a professional gym is being delivered to your garage. Once the frame is bolted down, the machine feels solid, no wobble when you're pushing the press arms or pulling on the lat bar. That sturdiness is one of the first practical strengths you'll notice, especially if you plan to hit heavy sets on the leg press. Now, let's talk about daily usability. The dual-action press arms are positioned so you can do chest presses, shoulder presses, and even incline variations by adjusting the bench. I tested a 45-minute session that mixed flat bench, incline, and shoulder work. The range of motion feels close enough to a traditional bench press to make the weight feel right, but the bar path is fixed, so you lose a bit of the natural arc you might get with free weights. That's the trade-off of a Smith-type design: more stability, less freedom. If you're someone who's new to weight training and worries about balance, that safety net can be a real confidence booster. For seasoned lifters who thrive on the feel of a free bar, the limitation becomes more noticeable. The leg press component is where the 138-pound stack shows its practicality. You can load the full stack for a solid lower body challenge, and the sled slides smoothly on the guide rails. Because the machine is anchored to the floor with a set of heavy-duty brackets, the leg press feels secure even when you're loading the max weight. In a real-world scenario, say you're doing a 3-set, 12-rep routine for quads and glutes, the motion is consistent, and you don't have to worry about the sled tipping or the frame shifting. The downside is the travel distance. The sled doesn't go as low as a dedicated leg press you'd find in a commercial gym. That means you'll be working your muscles in a slightly different range, which can be fine for beginners, but may limit the depth for more advanced users. The lat station is another area where the SunHome tries to pack a lot in. The high pulley and wide grip bar let you mimic a cable pull down, and the weight stack provides enough resistance for most intermediate users. In my testing, the pulley runs quietly, and the change weight pins lock in place without any slipping. The practical strength here is the ability to do rows, pull downs, and even tricep extensions without needing a separate cable machine. However, the cable's length is fixed, and you can't really adjust the angle beyond what the attachment points allow. If you have a very specific shoulder or back routine that requires different angles, you'll feel the limitation. So, who should buy this? If you're a homeowner with a dedicated workout space, whether that's a spare room, a garage, or a basement, and you want a single piece of equipment that lets you hit all the major muscle groups, the SunHome system offers genuine value. The price point, which sits comfortably in the mid-range for home gyms, means you're not paying for the premium of a commercial-grade rack, but you still get a functional, heavy-duty frame that can handle consistent use. It's especially appealing to beginners, busy professionals, or anyone who wants to avoid the intimidation factor of free weights. The ability to switch between upper and lower body movements without moving equipment around is a time saver that many people appreciate. Conversely, if you're an experienced lifter who relies on heavy squats, deadlifts, or Olympic lifts, this machine probably won't meet your needs. The fixed bar path of the Smith machine limits the natural movement pattern you'd expect.